how in the world did Dark World manage to overcome this top cut? Make sure you guys smash the and crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. So your breakdown here out of this regional is actually quite impressive. Kashtira is our most leading deck, and you know, that's been pretty much the story for a majority of the format. It is old consistent, it is old reliable, it is Arise Heart OTK on the follow-up on the next turn, and then your opponent just stares at you and goes, yep, that's all she wrote. Everybody, yay! Isn't that fun? We also had one Purely. I'm not all that surprised either. The Draw 6 Purely combo is stupid good at the end of the day, especially, you know, if your opponent manages to toggle into whatever hand traps that they actually need to see. It may as well just be GG at that point. I see that we also have one branded duelist making their way into Top Cut as well. That's not really something that Brandon's been kind of pretty hit or miss, actually, as of late. So the fact that we're still seeing that deck be pretty consistent, I'm actually happy with that, as a lot of people really should be. We had one Rescue Ace as well, so, you know, set all of the good cards, have your opponent proceed to stare at you and go, oh, well, that's pretty actual good. We had one Dragon Link, standard full Dragon Link combo. I have your opponent stare at you and go, oh, yep, sphere mode, Dissipator. It's really good. We also had one Sword Soul, actually. I was actually kind of surprised about that. So old reliable out here, actually being pretty consistent as well. But the fact that this deck still does have an incredible track record is really nice. And then out of nowhere, I mean literally out of nowhere in my personal opinion, we have Dark World slamming this top cut, winning the entire event. Now, the fact that this deck was able to play around so much of some of the biggest distractions in the room, I'm genuinely impressed with. So let's pass on over to those deck lists. Winning your event here is actually Dark World, and I see that we are playing the Turbo Go build, where you're just going to not care about anything your opponent does. We're also playing Triple Dark Corridor, which I still don't necessarily agree with that, but I guess at this point in time you want to make sure that you can see the card, because it is essentially the heart and soul of the deck. Also, dangers are interesting ratios. One Bigfoot, one of the other one. We're also only playing one Silva in here as well, but I assume that the logic is once you see it, you can kind of just plow through your combo. And of course, I see we're playing Tri-Gate Wizard in here as well. So we're setting up a full little mini extra deck lock. Oh, well, a big negate board on the opponent, while the opponent is going to stare at you and go, yep, that's all, folks. Okay, well, I mean, when you can consistently see a first place finish with this deck of all things and make it actually work out, I gotta clap for it. It's amazing. Alright, next up here we have Kashtira. So Kashtira did get second place. I assume maybe the Dark World player won the dice roll and just steamrolled them through the high roll, because that's kind of how it is. I mean, you have to put a lot of theory into the fact that you are going to always see the high roll variance take place. So, you know, if these two did play and they won the dice roll, Rise Heart's not going to do anything to a full board. I mean, especially you got the Tri-Gate, the Photon set up, like, it's not going to be a fun time anywhere in that matchup. So that's one big thing you got to consider for this matchup is, did the Dark World player, you know, just open the nuts and, you know, or did I go first? Did I see the Arise Heart, or did they follow it up with some sort of potential clear off for said Arise Heart? And I mean, the answer is, you know, whichever tends to happen is going to probably win the game in terms of that. But outside of that, list feels pretty standard at the end of the day. Not a lot of real change out here. Hey, we have our Purely Duelist here. We're playing, this is a weird combination of books. We're playing 2 Book of Moon, 1 Book of Eclipse. I assume that they want to make sure that they can get their ratios in the right places to make sure that they can capitalize on the higher swings that they actually need to. But we're also playing double Phantasme, and then we have the triple crossout in the side deck. So we're going to be bringing in those crossouts probably for the odd swing of the books, just to make sure that they can do their thing. I assume that they wanted to play just triple Book of Moon, but they're like, oh, you know, if our opponent is playing the Book of Eclipse, you know, we want to bring in the cross out to be able to counterplay that if need be. And also shout out to Triple Phantasm. I think most builds have only been playing one. This build wants to be able to sculpt their hand to make sure that, you know, they can draw the perfect cards to make sure that they can play the game. Next up is our Rescue Ace Duelist, and I see that we're playing the one Nightmare Corruptor Ibli in here as well. Shout out to Nightmare Corruptor Ibli, actually. This is not the first time that we have seen Nightmare Corruptor Ibli actually doing the thing. And I see, you're not going to believe this, I see triple Nobleman of Crossout in here. As, you've got to be kidding me, they actually got away with this. So they're comboing the Book of Eclipse with the Nobleman of Crossout to be able to spot removal out anything that the opponent has on the field. I have not seen Nobleman of Crossout see actual competitive. I can't believe this. This is the oddity of the format, everybody. You're telling me that they got away with this. Man, you got 2 hand claps out of me for this regional, because that tells me that there was some crazy innovation happening out here. Next up is Dragon Link. I see, of course, the Driver and the Gamma, the Brickaroos. Of course, we are playing the Red Eyes, a little Meteor in here as well. It's going to ensure that you can go ahead and dump that brick. That way you can go ahead and play the game. We're playing the Branded Beast and the Branded Regain as well. I mean, those are literally essential parts to this deck. We are side decking Skill Drain. That's something that I have not seen a lot out of people as of late. While Skill Drain is still an incredibly good card, I feel like Dragon Link's like one of the few decks that can actually get away with it, because they can set up their huge board and just not care about anything that the opponent's going to do. And those big, don't underestimate how big those monsters can get. Alright, basic Yu-Gi-Oh! With effects turned off is literally just unga bunga, me have bigger hammer than you. That's, I think it's my favorite definition of this game. So yeah, Skill Drain does kind of facilitate some of that more caveman-esque Yu-Gi-Oh! That we're kind of used to. Hi Branded, how are you? So I see that we are playing the Gimmick Puppet Lock. I see that we are playing the extra Fusion Trap card in here as well. I've kind of noticed that that Fusion Trap has been explored by a lot more people, as our dear friend Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring has proven to us many times that we can end an entire opponent's branded turn by stopping that. I understand that you can do Blazing Cartesia plays, you can do Quim extensions. It does come down to the deck build for how you want to add in that extra sauce, but to be honest with you, if you're getting too spicy out here, I feel like you're just going to run into consistency issues, and that's not necessarily something that you want to do. The trap card does add in that extra consistent boost. Yeah, it is a trap card, but it does just let you build your board on your opponent's turn pretty much in the same way that you would have set up on yours, or, you know, you just set up an X as well. That's actually pretty interesting. Econ's kind of hit or miss with this deck, but the fact that, you know, Econ does punish the opponent, tribute, you know, one of your Scareclaws and that you've just summoned, or tribute something that's already attacked. Oh, okay, now I can put additional pressure on the opponent. I see that we're also playing the Gravekeeper's Inscription down there as well, which is something that I've noticed that has been gaining a lot of hype as of late. We saw a TCG player talking about it on the top little pickups list of things that you might want to consider, and the card has had a pretty decent spike up in terms of value as of late. So maybe it is something you want to put back into the format and actually have a chance to play. Outside of that, list feels once again pretty standard. And our last list here is Sword Soul Good Stuff. I see that, oh boy, triple Incredible Ecclesia, triple Long Dong, double tie. This is pretty standard. I feel like we've gone back in a time machine here, and we've dusted off of the old basic Sword Soul strategy. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that at the end of the day. We've seen this deck be the consistent monster that it has needed to be. There's a reason why this deck has a track record of being the, you know, I can play this, it's the standard reliable monster at the end of the day. So, cool stuff. I like what I'm seeing here. So please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about this region. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
much for watching. Check out these other videos.